Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the session. Before I begin, I would like to draw your attention to the chat box. There is a survey that we would like you to undertake. For the beginning of the session, please do the diagnostic, and at the very end, we will ask you to do the summative. My colleague, Mr. Vuyon Damo, is the moderator, and he will be manning the chats and reminding you of the survey. The title of this afternoon's workshop is a deep dive into Science Direct and Scopus. Before I do the hands-on session, I will just take you through the PowerPoint. Okay, so here I've just given a brief description of the difference between Science Direct and Scopus, and I will just explain or read from the slide. Science Direct contains full text articles from journals and books, primarily published by Elsevier, but also including some hosted by other societies. Scopus indices metadata from abstracts and references of thousands of publishers, including Elsevier. Scopus builds additional functionality on top of that metadata, such as citation matching, author profiles, and affiliation profiles. So simply think of Scopus as a map to research and Science Direct as a destination to read it. Scopus indexes nearly the entire Science Direct database, but without the article's full text. Scopus builds the profiles and metrics using that data. Okay, so this is just briefly how you would access Scopus from the library landing page, both Science Direct and Scopus. So there are two ways of accessing these two databases. The first, you would click on the databases A to Z tab, and you will get the alphabetic listing. Because both databases begin with S, you will then click on the letter S and scroll to the bottom, and that's where you will find Science Direct and Scopus. Alternatively, on the library's landing page on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll be prompted to visit your subject guide, and from your subject guides, as you can see from the screen listed alphabetically, you will then go to your academic department subject guide and see the two databases, which will be listed under the database tab on each subject guide. So in order to log in, you will have to use your RU credentials, and that would be the single sign-on. So unlike the past when you had to create individual accounts, from this year, you are simply using the single sign-on. This is just an explanation of the single sign-on authentication. This is an open standard based on XML that enables single sign-on by allowing users to log in once to an identity provider and then access multiple applications without re-entering their credentials. Okay, so these are just the steps that you would undertake in doing the single sign-on. As I said, you use your RU credentials. These are the ones that you use when signing into your email account or your RU connected profile. Okay, so you will proceed by clicking the yes and continue, and you would land on Science Direct. And this would be the Scopus platform. Just a few tips before we begin our searches or exploring the two databases. So these are traditional databases and the few apply. So you would use, it is advisable that because you are postgraduate students, that you use the advanced search option wherever possible. This gives you more flexibility with search terms. You're then advised to refine your searches using scholarly or peer-reviewed options. You're encouraged to use inverted commas to denote a phrase. You're also encouraged to use Boolean operators to connect your keywords. That would be and, or not. On the screen, this is just an example of how you would apply the keywords. And you are also encouraged to use truncation or wildcards. And on the screen, you're also given examples of how you would use the truncation. Okay, and it's also advisable not to limit your searches on one particular database, but to explore several databases. Okay, I will now end the PowerPoint presentation and go to the hands-on portion of the session. Okay, so I'm simply going to show you how you would log in. So remember, I said there are two ways of accessing databases. So you can click on the database A to Z tab, or you can visit your subject guide on the right-hand side of the screen. I'll just go to the database. And we're going to start with Science Direct, and that is under S. Scrolling, they are listed alphabetically. And you access your database. So because I'm staff, I will go to the staff tab. So it's not requiring me to sign in as indicated on my PowerPoint presentation because it recognizes that I've already signed in. Okay. I'm just going to take you through various searches. We're going to start off by doing a quick search. So you can do quick searches by using keywords, the author's name, or the title of a journal. So I'm just going to, I'm going to look up social ecological systems, and I've also included the acronym. And I do a quick search. Okay, so these are the results that you see in front of you. The next example, I'm going to do an author search. So these are the results under the particular author. Okay, so I'm not going to do a book title or a journal title here. I'm going to save that for later, and I'm going to access that journals and books tab right on top. But I'm just going to move on because I want to show you the advanced search functionality. So just below the search box, we're going to look at the advanced search functionality. And I'm just going to remove that. So I'm going to bring up my script, and there's just something that I want to show you. So on Science Direct, there are various ways when you can structure your search string. So I'm going to be looking up heart attack or myocardial infection and diabetes and not cancer. So you can use the word and not to exclude cancer, or you can use the minus sign. So I'm going to do both examples to show you search, and these are the results. Okay, I'm going to go back to my script. So without using the words and not, I'm basically getting the same results. Now, if you want to learn how to structure your keywords, on each database, you would go to the help button. So the help button will show you or give you instructions on how you structure the keywords or using the database. I will click on the help button much later, but I will now proceed. So the next example that I want to show you is, so there are AI functionalities that are present in the database. So if I click on the actual title, I can use the Read Assistant tool. So you can, so here on the right-hand side of the screen, it's giving you examples of the type of questions that you can ask. So let us look at the first one. Let's say we want to, how does complete revascularization compare to culprit vessel intervention in terms of patient outcomes? I'm going to click that and give my AI tool a few seconds to come up with the answers. So just to note that this AI tool works when you are still within Science Direct, the database. If you download the PDF, the AI tool is not going to work. So you have to be on the database for the AI tool to work. So this is the response that I'm getting. And you can prompt it further right here at the bottom. But I'm going to move on and leave you to explore this functionality on your own time. I'm closing that AI tool. So moving on, I'm going to the top journals and books. Okay, so you can either use the search box here on top by just typing the title of the journal or the title of a book, or you can explore the modernized browsed page with the enhanced search capabilities and refine publications by domain and subdomain, select the type of publications, or choose the type of access. And if you're looking for journals and books, you can see the detailed journal and the book information. You can use the various AI tools on there. So let me just do a search. I'm going to type, so let's say I want to look up the International Journal of Information Security. And there it is. Okay. So these are the articles, these are the latest published articles. So right there on top about the journal, you can get a summary of the journal publication. You are also given instructions on how you would submit an article to this particular journal. You'll also be given the aims and the scope and author guidelines if you are planning on writing an article that you wish to publish in this particular journal title. On the top right-hand side, you get a breakdown of the articles as well as the issues. So if you click on all issues, these are all the years, the volume number and the issue number. Okay, I will leave you to explore this functionality on your own. So I'm just going to go back and I want to do an example of so let's look up a book, an encyclopedia. So we're going to look up the Encyclopedia of Ecology. Okay, going to look at the 2019 publication. So this is the Encyclopedia of Ecology published by Science Direct. You can search within this publication here, or you can browse through the individual volumes. So I'm looking at volume 1. So these are the various topics. Okay. So remember I said that if you want further guidance on how you would use this particular database, you would click on the, just need to go back. Need to go back, okay. So you click on the help button. So you can go to the Science Direct Support Center. Okay, so on here, you'll be given guidance on how to publish an article with Elsevier. What are the technical requirements for Science Direct? How do I use the advanced search option? How do I create an Elsevier account? But because we are using the single sign-on functionality, you don't have to create an account because you'll see those are my initials. So just using your single sign-in, you have already created your account and how to manage alerts and on and on. Because of time, I want to move on to Scopus. Okay. If you would like to be shown how to explore this particular database further, I do encourage you to contact your faculty liaison librarian. So I'm going to log out of this Science Direct and move on to Scopus. So I'm going back to the library page. I'm just going to go to the A to Z databases. Scopus is under S. Okay, so it's remembering that I signed in using my credentials and it's automatically letting me in. There's my account. These are my initials, VM. Okay, so on Scopus, to do your searches, I first want to highlight that if you want to do an exact phrase, you use curly brackets. If you want to approximate, you can use quotation marks. And that information will be located under the help button. Okay. So I want to look up patient cooperation or patient compliance. Let me just bring up my script. So I'm going to be looking up patient cooperation or patient compliance and medicine. So I'm doing exact phrasing. So you'll notice that when you are doing exact phrasing, your search results are limited. So we've used curly brackets and we get a total of 375. Just to explain what you see on your screen, on the left-hand side, you'll be given a breakdown of the results. That would be the subject area, the document type, and the source. on the center pane, these are the titles of the actual articles. Okay. I don't want to explain too much because I'm going to be showing you step by step what I'm going to be talking about. So for this example, we did the curly brackets for exact searching. So we're going to use the same keywords, but now we're going to use quotation marks. And you'll see that the results will move from 375 Now we have a total of 723 results. Okay, so the next thing that I want to show you is I want to show you how to expand results. So let's just say that we're going to do a search and you're going to be getting less results. So I'm going to do a different search now. I'm showing you examples of how you would expand your search. So I'm going to be looking up socio-economic indicators for protected areas. And I'm still using the curly brackets because I'm using exact phrasing. And I get a total of 20 documents. So I want to expand the results. I'm going to select all of them. And under more, I'm going to view cited by. So these are all the articles that have been cited by the 20 results. I'm going to go back. Then I want to view all the references from the 20. So we are expanding. Okay, so you see the prompt, it's slowing down, but I encourage you to explore this functionality on your own. Perhaps if you use a different browser, like Chrome. So it would have given me a total of, so by expanding, it would have given me a total of 695 documents when I view the references from the 20. But for some strange reason, my computer is deciding to act up on me. Okay, I'm going to move on. I'm deselecting the results. Okay. I'm going to repeat the search because for some strange reason, my computer is hanging. I'm going to refresh the page, close. Okay, I'm going to close it. I'm going to start. We can't wait for it to decide to work. Okay. So I'm repeating the search. So I'm going to take the first result and I'm going to look at all the related documents. So I want to see all the related documents from the first. That would include all the articles cited by, all the references. So just from that one article, all the related articles amount to a total of 13,220 documents. So this is how you would expand your results. Okay, the next functionality that I want to point out on the top right-hand side of the screen, I want to show you the analyze results. So we're going to analyze results. I'm going to start a new search. So I'm going to use different keywords. Going to look at water resources management in South Africa. So I get a total of 232 documents. I'm going to select all of them, and I'm going to click on the Analyze Results. So you can analyze results according to source, the years of publication, the author, affiliation, the country or territory, the document type, as well as the subject. Or if this is your preference, the funding sponsor. When you click on the Analyze button, you can export the results. So if I click the export, I can save the results in an Excel document. There's the Excel. Or I can print the results. So it's simply printing the breakdown. Or you can email. You can either email these to yourself, or you can email them to your supervisor, or email them to individuals within a research group. So you can add multiple emails and send the email through. Okay. Okay, so the next functionality that we're going to be moving to on Scopus, we are going to have a look at how you would create search alerts. So basically what we've been doing is we have retrieved articles that have already been published. But because of your advanced studies, what you want to do is you want to keep up with research within a particular field, within your own field. So if there is a new publication that is going to come out in a week or a month from now, you want to get an alert telling you that there is a new publication. You don't want to have to keep going back to the databases and replicating the searches, doing the same search over and over again. What you want to do is you want to create alerts within a particular database, and you want to be prompted when a new article comes out, whether it can come out in North America or Asia, and you want to get alerted that there's a new publication for your particular subject or for your particular research field. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the search. The first alert that we're going to create is we are going to do a keyword search and then create an alert. So the examples that we've been doing. So I'm going to do a keyword search, and we are looking up social ecological systems or social. So the example that I have on your screen, the brackets, I have put in all the synonyms within a bracket. So you'll find that some authors will use the phrase hyphenated, while other authors will use it non-hyphenated, and other authors might lean towards using the acronym. So you want to get as many articles as possible. And you'll see from the PowerPoint, I mentioned that when you're doing searches in the traditional databases, you want to use truncation. So interdependent, what you've done is you've typed in the root term and used the asterisk. So you're going to get results for interdependence or interdependent without you having to type the various examples. And you'll see nature or environment or habitat. Those are simply synonyms. So it's also, when you're doing examples, you tweak the keywords and see which keywords work and which keywords don't work. So we have done a search. So these are all the articles that have already been published, all 144. If there is a new publication that's going to come out in 3 months, you're going to set an alert and you're going to be alerted to that new publication without you having to come back to the database to do an alert for that, for the new publications that would have come out from the last time you did your search. Okay. So you click on Set Search Alert. So it's going to give you, the name of the alert will be the keywords that you used. It's going to default to the email address you used when you signed in. So this will be your institutional email address. And here under frequency, so you have the option of deciding on the frequency. You decide on how often you receive alerts. You can set it to receive alerts daily. You can set it to receive alerts once a week or once a month. And you also decide on the day of the week. And you create your alert. Okay, so the next alert that we're going to do is, so let's say when you are starting out in your research and you meet with your supervisor and you discuss the focus of your research, and your supervisor might say that, okay, there might be 1 or 2 seminal articles for that particular research. So what you want to do is you want to create an alert for that particular seminal article. So if the article was published in 2015, what you're going to do is create an alert for that particular article. And if there is a new publication that comes out citing that seminal paper that was referenced by your supervisor, you're then going to get alerted to the new publication citing the seminal article. Okay. I actually have a title saved up. So this is the title of an article, Learning for Resilience, Exploring Learning Opportunities in Biosphere Reserves. Because it is an article, you're going to place it within quotation marks and do your search. Okay, I'm going to repeat and I'm going to remove the quotation mark. See, yeah. I've removed the question mark. There's the article. It's a 2010 publication. You can see that there are already 71 articles that are citing this particular paper. So this seminal article is your cited article, and the 71 are the citing articles. So this is another example of how you would expand your search results. So this would be the seminal article, and the 71 are the citing articles. So that's one way of expanding your results. So just looking at one title, you are now being directed to 71 articles, and these articles might also be relevant to your particular search. Let me just bring them up. So these are the 71, which might also be relevant to that particular search. I'm going to go back to the one article because we're going to set an alert for it. So we're setting an alert, set search alert. There's the title of the article. This would be the seminal article that you were directed to by your supervisor. it will default to your institutional email address. So this is your personal space. You decide how often you want to get alerts. You can get them daily, weekly, or once a month. You also decide on the day of the week. That is also your personal preference, and you set the alert. The next alert that we're going to do is we're going to set an alert for a researcher. So you can set alerts for researchers within your various departments. If you've read extensively, you'll come to know who are the prolific researchers within your field of study. Then you can set alerts for those particular individuals, or you can also set an alert for yourself. That's if you've published a paper. So when you set an alert, you're going to be alerted to the new publications from that author. You're also going to get alerted to new articles citing that author's work. Okay. I'm going to click on search because we are searching for an author. Click on author. So remember, I said you can set alerts for prolific researchers within your research field. When you've read extensively and you've identified those persons, you can also set alerts for researchers within your particular department. You can set an alert for your supervisor, you can set an alert for yourself, or you can set an alert for other people within the institution. That's your decision. So we're just going to set an alert. So we're typing in the author's name. I also like to add affiliation. Rhodes University search. Okay. Just to digress, so what you see here on the screen, this is the author we're looking for, but the various names, that's called author ambiguity. So please be on the lookout for another session that is going to be on org ID, and that org ID session is going to instruct you on how you can counter what you see here. So I'm not going to go deep into that, but please be on the lookout. I can't remember the exact date, but it's on the library's calendar. So I'm selecting that author and I'm clicking on show documents. Okay, so these are all the documents published by the author. It doesn't mean that the researcher has only published 19 documents. Remember, I limited the results to Rhodes University. So I do know that this is a new researcher within Rhodes. So they've been at other institutions where they've published. So these might have been collaborations with RU staff. So I set the alert. And it's giving me the author's name. It will default to the email address, your institutional email address. Again, here the frequency. So it defaults to whatever you selected when you first chose the frequency. And you can change the frequency. It really doesn't impede anything. I've set the alert. And the next alert that I want to set, the final alert, I'm going to set an alert for a journal title. So I'm going to go to sources. Okay. So if you know the full journal title, you can type the journal title here, or you can look under the subject area. I'm just going to use a keyword. Going to use a keyword. Let's see what keyword. Going to use information security. So as you're typing, it's telling you, it's giving you possible titles. So I'm going to go to ACM transactions on information and system security. Okay, so this publication is no longer active. I'm going to search for another example. Still going to keep it at information security. Okay. And I'm going to click on the blue button, Set Document Alert. So it's giving you the title of the alert, again, the same information. So you can render the alerts active or inactive, but it defaults to active because you want to be receiving alerts. Then you click on Set Alert. Once you've set all the alerts, you're going to go to your alerts page on the bell. So these are the alerts that you've set. It will tell you the date on which the alerts were created. It will give you the frequency that you selected. It gives you the option to delete the alerts, and you can see that the alert is active. So you can deactivate the alert. We can go to the edit button. So let's say that maybe you're going to be traveling and you're not going to have access to your emails, or you just want to pause receiving alerts for whatever reason, and you just click on inactive and you save. So back to your alerts page, you'll see that the alert that we've just created is now inactive. So it means that until I reactivate it, I'm not going to be receiving alerts. So let's go, yes, the example on the keywords. So let's say that the type of articles that are going to be coming through your inbox might not be relevant. You can also edit. So you click on the little pencil and you're going to edit. So you're either going to take away keywords or you are going to add. I'm just going to remove the last set and then test the search. Okay, and then create the alert again and set the alert. Go back to my alerts page. So I have edited the keyword. It doesn't deactivate, so it means that I'm going to be getting two alerts. The one with the full keywords that I used, or you can deactivate it. And I'm also going to get fresh alerts on the edited keywords. And again, as I said, you can delete. Click on delete, and you're not going to receive the alert. Okay. So the next functionality that I want to show you, I'm going to go back to search. Okay. So I want to go to the advanced search. So I'm using the advanced functionality. So I want to look up computer security threats within health sciences. I'm just typing in the search string. Under field codes, I'm going to go to subject areas and I select all health sciences. So it has added the string and I do the search. And I find a total of 45 documents. Okay. So there are other functionalities that you can use on the various databases, but I have excluded them for this session. For example, you can export to the various reference managers. I've excluded this functionality because there are going to be sessions much later that are going to do a deep dive on the various reference management tools. So in those sessions, you'll be directed on how to import citations to the reference management tools. But I have shown you how to download when using the analyze results. I've noticed that, okay, depending on the browser, so I'm on Firefox. If I select the articles and I wish to download, it tells me that this particular browser does not support that functionality, so I would have needed to use Google Chrome. But it works perfectly with all the other functionalities. Okay, so like all the other databases, if you would like to explore this particular database on how to use it to its optimum level, I encourage you to use this. Okay, so you would go to the support center, but let's look at the tutorials. Click on tutorials. Okay. Okay. So these are all the videos that are very helpful. They will direct you on how to do basic searches, advanced searches, basically everything that I've shown you how to do this afternoon. You can revisit the tutorials page, and these videos will give you guidance on how to do the functionalities. So we've basically covered everything. I showed you how to work the metrics, even though I quickly rushed through it because of time constraints, but I would encourage you to use the tutorial videos. And at your advanced level, you are encouraged to explore the affiliation profile correction, author profile correction, citation correction. This is if you have published articles and there are certain things that you wish to publish on your author page. And I've shown you. So these are all the AI functionalities. While Rhodes does not subscribe to Scopus AI, but you can explore how the functionality works. So I haven't shown you that because we don't have it here at Rhodes. Okay, so that is all for this session. And I believe my colleague Vuyon Damo has been manning the chats, and he should have been responding. Okay. And you'll see from the chats that you're being encouraged to do the surveys. So at the very beginning, we asked you to do the diagnostic. And now, could you please assist us by doing the summative survey? Vuyo has included the link in the chat box. And we'll take questions. So if there are any questions that you'd like to ask, you can type them in the chat box, or you can simply unmute yourself and pose the question. Okay, so we have 6 minutes. We'll wait till past. Okay, whilst we wait for the questions, thank you very much for taking time to attend the session. And we hope that this particular workshop was helpful. Do note that the sessions are being recorded and they are going to be uploaded on the library's YouTube account. The link to the YouTube account will be communicated by Ms. Tubilem Tetra, or you can find the link on the library website page. Okay, so we are waiting for questions if there are any. Thank you. Okay, we'll wait for a few more minutes. Okay. I'd like to thank my moderator, Mr. Vuyontamo, for his assistance this afternoon. And thank you to the online attendees. If there are no questions, I will end the session. We would like to wish you well with your studies, and please feel free to come to the library for any assistance. And we encourage you to register for additional workshops. If you've missed any of the workshops, you can visit the YouTube account to see the recordings. Thank you very much. Okay, I will end the session. The very best of wishes, everyone. Take care and goodbye.